Order! Order! You are an incorrigible delinquent at times. Behave yourself, man!
Well, now, Boris Johnson has often been accused of playing fast and loose with the truth when it comes to Europe. Now our fact-check team think he's lied again in his resignation letter. Mr. Johnson wrote that Britain could not pass a law to save the lives of female cyclists when the proposal was supported at every level of UK government, because we were in the EU. In fact, Brussels didn't block anything. It was the European Parliament that tried to change the law to make cyclists safer, and the British government was initially against the move, as Boris himself pointed out at the time. You can read the whole story, including Boris's denial, at channel4.com/fact-check. So what do voters, many of whom supported Brexit, make of all the government chaos? Do they blame Boris, or is there faith in Theresa May to hold it all together in the end? In a moment we'll be getting the view from Europe with Matt Fry in Brussels, but first our Home Affairs correspondent Andy Davis has taken the train to Minehead to hear what people think.
Quite an illuminating day here in Somerset, John. No shortage of strong opinions at the mere mention of politics and the latest ongoings in Westminster, mostly quite often prefaced with the line, what I'd really like to say, I can't repeat on camera. There's been plenty of strong opinions about Boris Johnson. I did find one voter who said that he supported his decision to quit the cabinet, but most others, I have to say, distinctly unimpressed by his actions. As for Theresa May, some sympathy among voters, but overall, you only had to look at people's faces to get a sense of the utter exasperation some around the UK currently feel with the state, the latest saga in the Brexit story. If the age of steam meant a time when Britain knew where it was headed, sure of its place in a mighty new industrial world, then the age of Brexit has got off to a far less convincing start. What do you think of the way politicians are handling this?
Rubbish.
I'm lost for words, actually. It's mental. I wouldn't even know what to say. It's just ridiculous.
On the heritage line from Bishop's Lydiard to Minehead in Somerset this morning, and how easily the mention of politics punctured the genteel atmosphere. Are you a Conservative?
Yes.
And what do you think of your party right now?
Unorganised.
Is that the politest way of putting it?
Well, I think it's yes. It's a shambles at the moment, actually.
I think it's a bit too close to the Brexit happening for it to all go this way now.
Boris Johnson, well, what can I say?
What can you say?
He's a buffoon.
A buffoon?
Yes, I think so, yes.
Many a Boris Johnson critic we found today, and a swipe at Brussels too from this erstwhile Remain supporter.
But I have to say I've actually changed my mind, because I think we've been so messed about by Brussels.
So you're a Remainer who now backs Leave?
Yes. Oh yes. Yeah. I don't like being bullied. I really don't like being bullied, and I feel that's what's happened and happening.
Whatever is happening, it's political clarity that many we spoke to today craved, among them one of the directors running this rail line.
You know, what is actually going to happen? How is it going to affect us as a small employer in West Somerset? How is it going to affect employment? How is it going to affect spending? So really it's a case of tell us what's going to happen and get on with it.
Minehead, end of the line in a strong pro-Brexit area, end of their tether for some Leave voters here, and not just with the Tories.
Enraged, it's a farce. Why can they not get all these intelligent people, supposedly, from each party and make up a cabinet? Then they could perhaps sort it.
It was never going to be simple, though, was it?
No, we know that, but how it's going on and on, it should have been sorted out by now, I think. Don't you?
We've been Labour voters all our lives. But if there was to call a general election now, what earth would we do? Because there's no way I could back Jeremy Corbyn. No way. So I would be in a real dilemma. A real dilemma.
Boris Johnson came in for more criticism, save from this Brexit voter disillusioned with Theresa May. Theresa May is taking Britain out of the European Union.
But she's not. We're still going to be tied to it. And that's not what we voted for. We wanted to be away from it altogether.
So what's your advice to Theresa May?
Rethink what she's just done.
And what they've promised.
Yeah, and go back to what was originally promised and what we originally hoped for.
Hard Brexit or not, the hard yards of negotiations are still to come, even if the current pace of change is clearly not to everyone's liking.
Andy Davis in Somerset.